Hello everybody. Today we are copying Brad taste in music. Not really, but at the same time kind of. Basically, I went into the community tab and I asked all of you, what album would you play for somebody who's never listened to music before? Or, you know, a more realistic approach, what album would you play for somebody who's never really listened to a full album but likes music but just hasn't sat down and listened to an album from start to finish? This is going to be kind of casual, okay? We're not going to be taking it that seriously. I'm just going to go through them, you know, give what I think about it, and we'll move on and have a good old time. I'm just going to say right now, I got like 40 to 50 replies, and I'm not going to be listening to all these albums in this video. It would make the video way too long. This is just going to be a casual, if it's an album I've heard, you know, I want to talk about it. I think if it fits the prompt. If it's an album I haven't heard, we'll pull it up real quick, we'll listen to a track or two, we'll skim through it, and then I'll give my 2 cents. So let's get straight into it. So as you can see, this is the community post. We're just gonna go down the line. Let's start. Let Me the Shopkeeper says Random Access Memories by Daft Punk. It blends together a lot of genres, just generally use a lot of cool techniques. It's a pretty easy listen, but it still has some uncomfortable parts to push your boundaries, as the general theme of life and happiness really is a simple but powerful theme that people can resonate with. Now, I've listened to bits and pieces of Random Access Memory by Daft Punk, of course, right? And it's definitely, I think, a very approachable album, and I could see a lot of people easily liking it. I do think kind of the setting and mood depends on if you enjoy it. Like if you're just chilling with somebody, maybe not, but if you're like going out and doing shit, it is definitely like an amazing album, super easy to listen to. I think it's definitely a good introduction album. I haven't fully listened to it myself, just the general songs I've heard from it, it would work as a very easy like sit down, listen to the whole album. And I think a general rule of thumb so the album is a bit long, and I'm gonna be real, I think a general rule of thumb when you're introducing somebody, I think try to keep it under the hour length in terms of album, because a lot of people, especially nowadays, when you're introducing these albums that are an hour plus, you're pushing patience. Daft Punk is a very easy to get into the groove, and in my experience, more like dance and house music, the time of the songs, despite a lot of them being like 8 minutes, go by like nothing. So I still think it would work very well as a intro album for a lot of people. So I'm gonna give the stamp of approval. Yes, I think it works as a first album, as an intro for people. Now Muzzy Lemon says for Zoomers, Flower Boy. Perfect mix of pop, rap, and R&B with great choruses, catchy melodies, and introspective lyrics. I 110% agree with it. Stamp of approval immediately. I think for most people around my age, you know, we're talking like the 16 to 25 age bracket. Flower Boy, Igor, Blonde, some Kanye albums. Those are the gateway drugs into listening to albums at full length, listening to music in terms of just in the album art form. Personally speaking, for me, Igor, Flower Boy, and Blonde were my gateway. Flower Boy being the first album I really sat down and listened to in full, and I think it just really works as a great album. And as you say, it has a mix of so many different genres, but at the same time it always feels very soothing, very catchy. And you showed it to somebody who's never listened to an album before, they could very easily pick something, at least 1 or 2 songs they like from it, and maybe explore that more in depth. So I think it's a fantastic pick for a first album to show people. Jack Benham says, or Benham, yeah, Benham, I said it right. Jack Benham says Simon and Garfunkel, Bridge Over Troubled Water, amazing and classic folk album, such a wide range of genuine human emotions. Like goddamn, they got a song on here for every mood. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure, isn't this the one with like oh fuck, I'm pretty sure I know what this is here. Simon, isn't this the one with the one song, right? Fuck, what's the song called? It's probably their most popular, isn't it? Is it Cecilia? Here. Okay, let's just give some obviously I know about this album. It's incredibly famous in terms of folk, so oh, that's the song. Isn't the Hello Darkness song by them? I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's by them, right? Okay, Yeah, I think in general, older songs, or my bad, older albums are going to be easier to approach, especially ones like that. And like when I think of like the Beatles, maybe not the White Album, but the Beatles, just because it's still very, especially when they're like popular groups, it still appeals to a good amount of people. So it's not nothing too crazy, right? You're not playing them some like absolutely insane shit that's kind of hard to get into. And just from my, you know, skimming through the album, I think it would work well. As you said, we heard a lot of different sounds in there. There's a lot of different stuff happening, and it sounds very human, very personal. So I'm gonna give that the stamp of approval. I think that's gonna work very well and just ease somebody into the album format. Next we have Viasman. I actually have done this to one of my friends that has never listened to a full album. I told him to listen to Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder. Okay, of course I know of this album, right? But I have not listened to it. I've heard Stevie Wonder before, just a few songs. I mean, he's incredibly famous, so it's kind of hard not to. So let me just scroll through Songs in the Key of Life, you feel me? But Songs in the Key of Life, holy shit, this is an hour and 45 minutes. What the fuck? Yeah, some of these songs are kind of long too. Now, I'm just gonna say off the bat, from what I've heard Isn't She Lovely? And I love that song. In general, I think albums that sound happy, sound joyful, spiritual, you feel me, are gonna come across very easily to a lot of people. I think it's very easy to connect to the feeling of being happy. And I think this album, let's just go through a few others. What are the most popular ones on here? Sir Duke, let's just... Oh, okay, I know this song, yeah. Yeah, you know, stuff like that, it feels good. It feels good to listen to. Like, it's so hard not to like. And I think that makes it a very good pick for first out. I will be honest, it is kind of long. I don't know, this might, you know, sometimes Spotify fucks up the version, so maybe this isn't the original version. This kind of falls into what I was saying before, though, like a lot of older music, like I think Simon and Garfunkel was also the 70s. Is this going to be a lot more approachable for a lot of people? Because it's just not that experimental, or it's experimental, but it's not like way out there, like some stuff, right? Like, you know, I just reviewed Captain Beefheart, like Trout Mask Replica. Like, I would not show Trout Mask Replica to somebody who's never listened to a fucking album before. I'm gonna give this a stamp of approval. I'm gonna say it's good. I think it's just gonna be a feel-good album. And if the first album you listen to in full is a feel-good album, I think that's you setting the foundation good for the future. Penny Boy says Electric Ladyland by Jimi Hendrix. Of course, it's a classic. I have heard, I think it's All Along the Watchtower, which I think is the closer or one of the songs in the album. It showcases a super wide variety of genres, and a full listen is insanely cohesive. This is, again, another super famous album. One that I think it's on the list to review. I can't remember exactly. Don't mind the Weezer there, okay? I didn't listen to that shit. I was searching up to see if it was an actual album. I saw people talking about it, and I was like, what the hell is this? Electric Ladyland. Damn, this one's an hour 15? Yeah, All Along the Watchtower. Well, what's the other most popular on here? Let's... Voodoo Child. Now, Electric Ladyland, I think people would like. I think it kind of depends where they're coming from, though. Like, you know, if somebody's only listened to like rap songs, or depending on the genre they're coming, they only listen to pop, I think Electric Ladyland might not be the best introduction, because it is very, you know, it's a guitar heavy, electric guitar heavy album. And I could see some people finding the parts where it's only the guitar to be a bit drawn out, especially if they've never listened to the album in full. Also, it's an hour and 15 minutes. And I think something like Stevie Wonder, like Songs in the Key of Life, the sound is just much more approachable for anybody. But I think Electric Ladyland, while it's still, you know, I think it sounds fantastic, and I think most people would like it. I think it's more towards a specific type of people, like type of music they like, and it's going to be a bit harder to, I think it's a decent choice, but I'm gonna give it, I'm gonna say nah on Electric Ladyland. I think it would not be bad. It's definitely not the worst, but I think it's a bit more specific than the other albums we've heard so far. Especially, I'm thinking right now I'm thinking somebody who's like 18, you know, maybe 17, 19 or something. young adult, never listened to an album before. What's the first album? That's kind of what I'm thinking of right now. And I think the albums we've gotten before this, I think would work a lot better than Electric Ladyland. EK Light says 20 jazz funk greats by Robbing Gristle. That name sounds familiar, and it also sounds wild. I'm gonna be real, just based off that title alone, it sounds like a compilation album. And if that is the case, is that cheating? 20 jazz funk greats. Oh, it's not. Is it not? Wait, how long is this? Okay, see, here's the length I want when I'm introducing somebody to an album. 40 minutes is like the ideal length. I think shorter is obviously better. Okay, let's see. Let's listen to 2 most popular. I'm gonna be honest with you, son. You're scaring the person off with this first track. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna be real. Okay, let's listen to another one. Oh, my left ears. What the fuck? Okay. No. Sorry, but damn, that got 4 likes. Just from what I heard, it's interesting, you know, the jazz funk, but I'm gonna be honest, if I'm giving this to somebody who's never listened to an album in full, I think I'm gonna scare them off. I don't think they're gonna talk to me after that. So I'm gonna give a no to that one, Chief. But you do you, doesn't mean it's a bad album, and I haven't listened to it in full, so you know, take what I say with a grain of salt. Next person. This is a classic. What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. Very short, and the music is super accessible and smooth. I couldn't imagine anyone listening to it. This is kind of like Stevie Wonder, which I mean makes sense since both of them were in like the whole Motown scene. And oh, what's his fucking name? In the original like Motown like record label. But you know, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye. I've never listened to What's Going On. Of course, I've heard about it because it is, you know, endlessly famous. 35 minutes. See, this is ideal. As you mentioned. It is a very short albums are going to go very well. I've heard What's Going On, the title track. I haven't heard this. Here, this. Oil wasted on the oceans and upon our seas, fish full of mercury. Okay. We don't need to escalate. You see, war is not the answer. Okay, I gotta listen to this shit in full, but that's kind of what we're looking for, you feel me? Something super smooth, something you just listen to and you're like, yeah, that hits. Because I could see some people thinking it's a bit slow on a first listen, especially if they've never listened to stuff like this before. But I kind of get that just from those 2 songs. I couldn't imagine anyone listening to it and actively disliking it. I could totally see that because it's so smooth. I think soul and R&B music in general, especially like old, like we're talking Motown shit, is just so easy on the ears, and that was kind of like, you know, partially intentional from the person in charge of Motown. They were trying to make hits, you know. Obviously I know the story behind What's Going On. Marvin Gaye basically told him to fuck off and he was going to make his own album and talk about politics and shit, even though that was like explicitly told, like, do not talk about fucking politics at Motown. I like it. I think this is I approve. I think this is excellent. This is a perfect album to introduce somebody to. It's short, it's very smooth, it's easy, it's very likable. I can't imagine it. You said it perfectly. I just can't imagine somebody not liking it. You feel me? Or like you show them Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Like who's gonna fucking not like Marvin Gaye? Here we go. Okay, all right says Haunt Me by Tim Hecker, which I think is how you pronounce his name. Or just really any soft ambient album. On that statement, I agree, because when I made this community post, the albums that came to mind for me were Flower Boy and oh shit, I forgot the Minecraft soundtrack. I think Volume Beta? I always forget which one's the grass block. Volume Beta? Okay, no, Alpha. Volume Alpha. Some ambient albums do run pretty lengthy. Like Volume Beta, it's like an hour and a half, I think. I think Volume Alpha would be a perfect, even if somebody's never played Minecraft, I just think it's so calming, relaxing, and just soothing. Again, we're going for stuff that's like human, you feel me? Like it's very easy to connect with, very easy to listen to. I haven't checked these comments before this video, by the way. If anybody puts like fucking Pulse Demon down, I swear to fucking God. On Me is just super gentle on the ears, easy to get into. I think ambient music in general is great for this scenario. 100% agree. 100% agree. I think ambient music, because when you introduce vocals, there is a level of somebody like their taste in vocals. They might not like the vocals. Like, I wouldn't play anybody like Cap and Jazz for first album, because the vocals are very, like, I love the vocals on Cap and Jazz's Self-Taught Schmap and Schmaz, but I easily could see somebody hating it. You know, I wouldn't play somebody just got back from Discomfort, We're All Right, if they've never listened to an album before, because the vocals are so like subjective if somebody's gonna like it or not. So you completely avoid that scenario when you choose a very chill ambient album. I think this is completely true. Let's pull up Haunt Me by Tim Hecker. I've not listened to Tim Hecker at all, actually, and I soon, probably within the next month, next 2 weeks, I'm gonna do a Harmony and Ultraviolet review. And I'm excited for that because I've heard a lot about Tim Hecker. You know, he's an incredibly famous ambient artist, especially for the current like 21st century ambient artist. So let's see this. He said, which one? Haunt Me. Which one's that? Is that on? Oh, it's I'm blind. I'm sorry. Under an hour. Perfect. That's what we're looking for. These are short too. A lot of these ambient songs are pretty short, which you always like to see. Wow, this is kind of 20 tracks. Here, let's give a whirl of this. Okay, I ain't gonna lie, you might scare some people with that one. Let's listen to the first track real quick. Let's just skim through it. Okay. Okay. What's the most popular? Boreal Kiss. Okay, let's. Okay, this is more what I was thinking of. I think those other tracks might not be the best to show somebody who's never listened to an album in full. I could see, like, as a whole though, ambient albums just tend to flow very well together, just as kind of naturally happening in the ambient genre. It seems it's a very normal thing. This is more what I was thinking of. With Boreal Kiss Part 1, I think anybody could like this song. You know, you could do anything, meditate, whatever to the song. I'm going to give it a shaky approval. Yes, but honestly, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe a no. I think I'm going to say a no. Because here's the thing. Recently, within the past month, I've listened to Aphex Twin's Selected Ambient Works Volume 2. That album is super long, and I was thinking it would be more like that, and it kind of is. I think it's a great ambient album, but I would not play that for like most people for two reasons. First, it's long as hell, especially for somebody who's never listened to an album before. If you started somebody off with Selected Ambient Works Volume 2, you probably hate them as a person. Second, there's maybe like 4 or 5 songs on like the 24 song track list that actually are like very soothing and calm, because the rest are just scary. Okay, they're just creepy. Ambient rides that line between like super comforting and creepy. Just from, you know, 3 songs, obviously I don't know the album, it sounds like this album does the same, and I could see somebody being freaked out, not freaked out, but just kind of like turned off by that sound, especially in an ambient album. Musta February, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, says For the First Time by Black Country New Road, because it's pretty varied, as in it's fun and can also be mellow. It's not too long, not too short, and it's experimental enough to elicit interest from the listener. Let's see. So here's the thing with interest. I think if you're playing an album for somebody who's never listened to music before, but that's pretty unrealistic, so never listened to an album from start to finish in full before, I think interest is important, but I think at the same time, the focus is more like, are they going to like it? I've never listened to For the First Time. Obviously, I listened to Answer Up There. I absolutely love that album. I gave it a 10 out of 10. But from what I know about this album, it's like heavily inspired by Spiderland, from what I've heard. In Spiderland, I would never play for somebody who's never listened to an album before. Don't get me wrong, I really like Spiderland. I think it's one of the best albums of all the time. But I would never play that shit for somebody who's never listened to an album in full before. I know Sunglasses is the one people say is good. 9 minutes. Now here's the thing. I obviously like it. I like Spider-Land. I like Black Country New Road. But I think somebody would, if you play this for somebody who's never listened to an album in full before, they might like leave the room. You feel me? They might like, or if you're like in a Discord or whatever, I think they're gonna leave VC. I ain't gonna lie, they're gonna leave you on red. Yeah, nah. I'm gonna say nah. Yeah, let's listen to one more. Let's listen to one more song. What's the track X is the most popular? Here's another thing. I know I've listened to Opus on my own time. I've listened to like a bit of it. A lot of this has spoken word. And I think starting somebody off on an album that has a lot of spoken word, nah, do not do that shit. I think it's gonna throw them off. Obviously, I haven't listened to this album. I might review it in the future if you guys want me to. Again, all my reviews are completely based off recommendations. Okay, I don't pick albums, or occasionally. I'm saying nah. I'm thinking nah on this one. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I would play this for somebody who's never listened to an album before. Obviously, I think it sounds great. Say lyrics, it's interesting. I think being experimental and interesting is not what I would aim for if I'm playing an album for somebody who's never listened to an album before. I think the two words are heartfelt and comforting, and maybe another word like just human, happiness, you know, just very simple, feel good things to relate to, right? Like I wouldn't play somebody death consciousness. That would scare them off. I don't think it's a horrible pick, and obviously with a prompt like this, it kind of depends on the person. But I'm gonna say no for the first time. Here we go. Lovesick Hexalogy. Maybe my favorite album of all time. I recently got it on CD. So fucking hyped for that. It is from the genre with the most diverse sound palette, which is hip-hop, plus heartwarming lyrics about universal and relatable themes, plus soulful catchy beats, plus fairly short because it's about 30 minutes and won't take much time out of your day, plus not too well known so the person couldn't brag about it if they like the album. This is facts. Full marks across the board. A+, S tier. Approved. Okay, the reason I approve it, actually, hold up, let's think about this real quick. Lovesick Hexalogy, I think some people could be thrown off by Shingo 2's rapping, but at the same time I feel like it comes across as very genuine, even if it's, and especially in my opinion, I think on the first 3 tracks it feels a bit more amateur than the last 3 of the Hexalogy. I think it's very easy to get into. I think the beats are very simple. Nujabes is very good at making these intricate but simple beats, especially paired with Shingo 2's vocals. I just think it's very easy to listen to. If we're talking about just the Hexalogy, so just the 6 songs, you know, part 1 through 5 and grand finale, it's very short. Each song just carries such a level of emotion. And I mean, the main themes of Lovesick as a whole are about being lovesick for music, for people, for life in general. It's a theme that's so easy to relate to, so easy to invest yourself in, and it presents it in a way that's so mellow, so genuine, and so human. I would definitely show this album to somebody who's never listened to an album before. Personally, I have played songs to people. I have played songs from this album to people who I know have like never listened to that type of music, and they've really liked it. And I think it's just the genuineness, the humanness of Lovesick comes across very well to everybody. So absolutely approved, perfect choice in my opinion. We have Songs in the Key of Life again, which as I said before, I think would work. Illinois by Sufjan Stevens. No, I'm gonna say no just straight off the bat. Here's the thing, Sufjan Stevens in general, I don't know if any of his albums I'd really give to somebody. Carrie and Lowell's too depressing. Age of Odds is too yeah, no, I just wouldn't. I just wouldn't. Javelin's also too depressing. Illinois though, I think there are songs in Illinois that would work, but as a whole album, I don't think it's the right choice. It's first off, it's long. It's a long album. Second off, not the vocals, but the lyrics are going to throw some people off. I just think it's very diverse in sound, and I think that's a huge plus. It's a positive of the album. I just don't think if I play this for somebody, I don't know if they'd like the whole album. And my goal, you know, if you're trying to play somebody an album, this is their first album they've ever listened to, we're trying to make them like it. You know, off of first listen, we want positive reception, and I don't know if I'd get that if I played Illinois or somebody. If I played, you know, Come On Feel the Illinois, if I played the Predatory Wasp, I think I'd get fanfare, you feel me? But the whole album, I don't think so. I'm gonna give a no on that. Obviously it's a great album. I don't think I would do it for the prompt. I Love You Honeybear by Father John Misty. Smooth instrumentals, beautifully written lyrics to connect with. I feel like most would enjoy this album with not much negative pushback. Now I mainly know Father John Misty for oh fuck, what's it called? Comedy? Is that what it's called? Here, let's pull it up. Pure Comedy. I've listened to that. I would not play that for somebody. I think this one might be a bit more popular. I've never heard anything off of this though. So let's play Let's play the first track. Okay, I see the vision. I see the vision. Let's listen to this one. I think this would work. I think this would work. I'm gonna just assume the rest of the songs are loosely similar. I think this would work. I'm gonna give it a stamp of approval. And the reason for that is, again, it's just approachable, right? He's not doing anything too crazy. He's not doing anything too out there. But it's genuine. His vocals sound nice. The instrumentals sound nice. Like, what's not to love? So I think this is a good album, and yeah, I approve. The Liars, they were wrong, so we drowned. It's a pretty out there album, but still very cohesive. Has a great concept about witches and gothic times. How did I lose my train of thought on that? While still sounding modern. Also close second to the Unicorns, who will cut our hair when we're gone. Okay, I'll mention the Unicorns real quick. I love that album so much. I really want it on CD. Would I play it for somebody? Maybe. I think it's so diverse song by song that they're bound to find something they like. But at the same time, I could see it being a bit weird for somebody, because the Unicorns, like, the start of the song, it's going to end somewhere completely else. And if there's a line you like in a Unicorn song, I hope you really hold on to that line, because you're probably never hearing it again on the same song. I don't think I would play the Unicorns for somebody who's never listened to an album before, but I do really like that album. Okay, I'll review it soon. But The Liars, I haven't heard this, so let's pull that up. I spelled liars wrong. I spelled liars wrong. Guys, I'm sorry. I ain't good at this stuff. Is this it? Oh, here we go. 10 minutes, 40. Or, well, 10 songs, 40 minutes, 2004. Let's give this a listen. Let's play the first track. It sounds like Swans if they didn't make a song, if like they took the 30-minute Swan songs and condensed it into a normal track length. That's what I'm getting the vibe of. I'm gonna say just off the first song, I'm gonna also say no. Again, we're going for ease of access, and I think this might scare some people. Let's play this song. Oh shit, they got the cowbell up in this bitch. Maybe. This is a maybe. I'm gonna just say no though, but I think it's a maybe. I think the Unicorns might be more approachable, because the Unicorns is just very feel good. It's a cute album. That I feel like might scare somebody off if they've never heard a full album before. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a no, but also kind of a maybe. Next, Kiyamio. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. We're doing Sensitive and Delicate, Stefan Show. I'm assuming Sensitive and Delicate is the name of the album. All right, so let's pull this bitch up. Oh shit. Oh, here we go. 39. It's good look. Damn, 1979. Obviously, I think 70s might be the best break-in drug for music albums, because they were cooking then. Oh, wait, hold up. I see the vision. I see what you were going for with that. If I've never listened to full album, that was the first song, I might do some. No comment. Damn, dude. Fuck. I'm getting goosebumps and shit. This is good. This is interesting. Based off those three, I didn't hear any vocals, or I didn't hear any like talking vocals, just harmonized kind of singing. Obviously that always sounds so nice, and just with these like kind of sparse instrumentals in the background, the piano and stuff, I think this is good. Instrumental music, I think, can be a very good gateway in. I approve. I'll probably listen to this. I might go listen to this after, but it sounds very nice. It's hard to like not like something like that, you feel me? You listen to that, like, come on, you guys heard it. You're telling me that didn't sound kind of nice? Let's play the last track too. I'm kind of interested. Yeah, okay. I'm approved 100%. It's something like this. Just, I think the name of the game is keeping it simple. Keeping it simple, people are probably bound to like it. Your first album you listen to doesn't have to be a masterpiece, right? It doesn't have to be your favorite album of all time. Flower Boy was like the first one I've said. I would in no way say Flower Boy is my favorite album of all time. Not by a long shot, but I appreciate it. I think this works well. And I would definitely play this for somebody who's never listened to an album before. It's 100% approved. Yo, let's keep grinding away. You feel me? We got a lot. I think we're maybe halfway through. Got a lot. Thank you guys for participating, by the way. If you're still watching this video, this is probably gonna be kind of a long video, a bit more sparse editing from me. If you're still here and if you commented, thank you, because I got a surprising, I thought maybe like 15 people would respond. We got near 50, so that's awesome. That's huge, and thank you for that. McGuffin says, in the Aeroplane Over the Sea. I love that album. I've been listening to it recently a few times. The perfect show to newer music nerds. I think that, yes, I would agree with that statement. It's conceptual, but not just on the surface level. Jeff Magnum's writing is endlessly fascinating. It also is just easily the greatest folk rock album ever made. I haven't listened to enough folk rock to speak on that statement, but in the Aeroplane Over the Sea, love it to death. For newer music nerds, yeah, I think it's an essential album. I think even if you don't like it, you should listen to it. Just for history's sake. It's well known, so you might as well give it a shot. Would I play it for somebody who's never listened to an album before? Probably not. Well, I think the melodies and the instrumentals come across as very, in general, pretty upbeat, pretty human, sounds good, feels good. The lyrics are gonna throw people off, and it's an album that you're gonna hear what Jeff Magnum's saying, right? There's no mishearing when Jeff Magnum says, your father made fetuses with flesh-licking ladies, or communist daughter as a whole. And I'm gonna be honest, if I played that for somebody who's never listened to an album before, they are probably going to never talk to me again. I'm gonna say no. Don't get me wrong though. I think we said newer music nerds, so maybe people who've heard a bit this like online music shit, yes, but in terms of somebody who's never listened to an album before, I'm gonna say no, just because the lyrics stand out. You do hear what Jeff Magnum's saying. It's not like muddled or anything, and he says some pretty weird shit, I'm gonna be honest, so I'm gonna say no on that one, but I love In the Aeroplane Over the Sea. So the next two, Quiet and Drive and Row Reviews, both said Dark Side of the Moon. I'll read both of them. Dark Side of the Moon was my introduction to listening to albums in full. I believe it to be a very good place to start because of how accessible and recognizable the tracks are. That's true. You got Money, you got Time. Boomer ass answer, but Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. The production is perfect, the sound is tasteful and timeless, and songs are mesmerizing. It's a perfect listen from front to back. Great introduction to what music can be. Surprisingly, I have not listened to Dark Side of the Moon from front to back. I've listened to Wish You Were Here, and that's about it. I've listened to Echoes, the live performance, but that's about it. One thing I've always liked about Pink Floyd, especially their early albums, none of them are, they're all around 40 minutes. Even something like Animals or Wish You Were Here, where it's only like 5 songs, it's still 40 minutes. That's a very good accessible length. As you can see, Time, Money, the most popular songs. Money, of course, it's classic, come on. And from what I've heard bits and pieces, I've had like classes talking about music where obviously, you know, they go on extended length about the influence, the making, and all that shit of Dark Side of the Moon. I'm gonna just say yeah. I think there's enough variety in Dark Side of the Moon that somebody's bound to like it as a whole, and I think it's just a good starting place. You're hearing a lot of stuff, as well as the songs aren't horribly long like other Pink Floyd songs, you know. Shine on Crazy Diamond, as much as I absolutely love that song, it's 15 minutes, and I'm not playing that for somebody. Yeah, because I've seen people who maybe only listen to rap or only listen to like pop or just kind of like surface level radio that have listened to this album. In the class I was in, there's people who just never really listen to rock, but would listen to this album after the class, and it was a hit. People love this album. They would listen to it in whole, and they said it's one of their favorite albums, right? So I think it's definitely a very good album for this scenario, and I'm gonna give it a stamp of approval. I'm gonna say yes to Dark Side of the Moon. Madvillainy, there's no way you can listen to that record and not be entertained. R.I.P. Doom. That is facts. Rest in peace, MF Doom. Oh, I see Mersbo in the bottom. Madvillainy. Would I play Madvillainy? I love that. I shouldn't say I love. That's for a later date. I'm gonna be honest. I think I like Madvillainy a lot less than most people. It's not a bad album by any means. Fuck, would I play this for somebody? It's been a long time. It's been maybe a year or two since I've listened to this album in full. I think maybe the whole kind of like abstract hip hop, it might throw some people off. I think MF Doom has very good charisma. The songs that he raps on, everything just flows effortlessly out of his mouth and right onto the tracks with the instrumentals. And I think there's a good mix of skits that are like actually kind of funny and entertaining and fit the album. And as a whole, the album flows by pretty fast. We have a lot of songs on here, but each of the songs are only like 2 minutes, which really makes it so there's so much variety and people can really find what they like. First album, maybe. I think maybe first rap album, I would say this is not a bad pick. First album though, I think I'm gonna say no, but it's a maybe. I'm gonna say honest, like for Electric Ladyland, Madvillainy, and there's like 1 or 2 others I said no on. Most of them are going to depend on the person, you feel me? But just in general terms, I'm gonna say no on Madvillainy, just because it's a tiny bit out there, and I could see some people who've never listened to an album in full before being a bit thrown off by it. Okay, next from Moldy Bread 101, we got Sun Goes Out by Communicant, or maybe the opposite, I don't know. Extremely good indie rock type album by an underrated band. It's very easy to listen to, and all the songs have different feel and vibe. Gives it a lot of variety. All right, let's see. Let's search this shit up. Okay, 40 minutes. That's a good length. Let's play the most popular ones. Okay, so from what I heard, sounds very, you know, it is I'll say yeah to that, because I mean it just sounds like very easy to listen to indie rock. You know, they're experimenting with like a tiny bit of genres. I'll say approved. It seems easy to listen to, it seems easy to get into. Toad says The New Abnormal by The Strokes was the album that reawakened my interest in music, so even though it's not as mainstream popular as the other options, it'll work for some. Yeah, I think I've seen people who like definitely get interest from The New Abnormal. I think that is going to be an album that a lot of people are going to like look back on and say that's like how they got into music. In my opinion, I think there's like a few albums that are very like, this is like what people are going to look back on. I think like Blonde, I think Flower Boy, I think Igor. I think for like more music nerd people, I think Twin Fantasy is going to be a really important album, you know, 10-20 years from now, stuff like that. But I think The New Abnormal is a very good pick. Here, let's like, I'll play it. So I have listened to it. I don't really remember it that much. I don't like it as much as The Room on Fire or Oh, Is My Spotify Fucked? Anyways, I don't like it as much as The Room on Fire, Is This It? But I think it might be a bit more approachable. There's a bit more pop elements to it, and I think it's an overall good pick. I think what's the final song called? Ode to the Mets. I mean, if you've seen anybody react to that song on YouTube, you know, some people be like, what the fuck am I listening to? But I think it ends it well. Yeah, I would say this is a good pick. I approve that. I think people could easily like that. A good mix of rock and pop and all that stuff. Okay, now we got some goofy people coming up. 2 people. The Seer Swans. Get the fuck out of here. Freak them the hell out. At least you know what you're talking about, bro. Nah, fuck off. I would not play The Seer. I'll say from what I remember, it's been maybe like a year and a half, 2 years since I've listened to The Seer. I only listened to it once. I like it more than To Be Kind and The Glowing Man. But you know anything about me? Not the biggest Swans guy, especially 2010 Swans. I actually do like the stuff from the 90s a lot more. No. Giving anybody for their first album and it's over 2 hours, you are evil. Okay, they need to lock your ass up. Yeah, no. I'm feeling a no out of 10 on this one. And this other goofball, look at this next guy. Venereology by Merzbow. Okay, gotta teach them early. Dude, I feel like if you played a Merzbow album for somebody who's never listened to album in full before, they're gonna melt. They're gonna disintegrate. You're gonna fucking kill them. Here, I don't even know if this is on Spotify. Is Merzbow on Spotify? Well, I know they are, but god fucking damn, Pulse Demon looking at me like a fucking evil. Is this the one I'm thinking it is? It is. I love this album cover, by the way. This is one of the coolest album covers of all time. No cap, okay? This shit is fire. I've never listened to this. Okay, I've seen it before. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, you're evil. Officer, lock them up. Don't ever let nobody listen to that. Especially their first album, dude. Imagine that. Imagine sitting your friend down who's never listened to an album before and be like, listen, man, I'm trying to get you into music. You gotta listen to this whole thing. They'd die. They would just straight up die. I'm gonna be real with you. No. A no out of 10. Words of Canada. Music has the right to children. Maybe. I don't know. I think yes. I'm gonna say yes. actually. No, actually, fuck. It's kind of long, just a tiny bit, but I think it's a good album. I think there's a lot of elements to it people can like, and just overall, it's a very nice experience as a full album. I'm gonna say approved, actually. I'm gonna say yeah. I think this is a good pick. I will say though, they might get freaked out by some parts, but it's not Gio Gotti. Okay, Gio Gotti would actually, you're gonna scare him off. But yeah, I'll say approved. All Together Now by Chance. This is an album that suits any kind of music taste, in my opinion. It's future funk. Let's search this up. Sometimes I just be thinking about how wild Japan is, because they got so much pop coming out of there, and then they just got acts like Boris and Merzbow that are just evil. Not I don't mean like bad, but just like the shit they're making. Not Boris though. Boris is way more approachable than fucking Merzbow. Okay, very short. This is an maybe I shouldn't have clicked on the the profile on Spotify. I'm gonna preemptively say no. Maybe I wasn't supposed to do that. You're hiding this from me. Oh, hell nah. Oh, hell nah. Nah, dude, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Let's listen to music before I judge it too hard. Okay, hold up. Let him cook. While the artist is questionable, to say the least, I'm gonna approve this album. It's super short, vibes, literally just vibes. No, don't gotta think about it too hard. It flows so good, right? It's super easy to fully enjoy from start to finish, and maybe show somebody that an album can really work well. Even if the songs, I'm gonna just predict the songs aren't cohesive. Like, this is just kind of like they put some shit on. This almost seems like an EP too, but whatever. I'll say yeah. I think people could like this. But that is wild, that artist. Igor, here we go, by Tyler the Creator. Such a great listen from start to finish, and a great album for someone who's just starting to get into music. I think in general, concept albums or loose concept albums are going to be easier for people to understand why the album format is so good. And I think Igor is a very easy album to understand. There are some concept albums that feel kind of out there trying to kind of piece together, but I think Igor is very clear from start to finish what's happening. I think it's a great pick because people will listen to it. I think most of the songs people will like. Some might like New Magic Wand, might not be some people's cup of tea, if you feel me, but I just think it's very good at showing people what an album can be. The intro is very much an intro. The outro is an amazing outro, and it just shows people like how the album format can really be utilized, and it's very clear what Tyler was doing on that. For sure, I think Igor absolutely proved. It might be the album, in my opinion, that I would use, besides a few other I've mentioned. Twin Cabins, I'm sure. Let's move on. Let's keep it pushing. I'll keep it 100 with you. I ain't doing that one. It's not on Spotify, bro. Sorry. Rainbow Bridge by Cemetery. Oh, bro, say less. Come on now. No, just kidding. I've never actually listened to Cemetery, but I fear for myself because I kind of enjoyed that bit. Seriously though, I chilled in Plastic Beach by Gorillaz. Got a whole lot of everything on it. Takes turns after every cut. You get down tempo cuts, upbeat songs. This is 56 minutes of fire. I've not listened to Gorillaz in so long, but that is like, I think a lot of people, Gorillaz is a very good entry into music, into albums as a whole. You said Plastic Beach, okay, but like On Melancholy Hill is a classic. Okay, that is a classic. Rhinestone Eyes I remember liking a lot. And yeah, there's a good mix of like this kind of rock and pop and rap as well. I could very much see this. There's a very large spectrum of genres being on display here, and throughout the whole thing, it's just fun to listen to. It's a good vibe. It doesn't really ever get boring from my memory. So I'm gonna say yeah, I'm gonna prove that. Plastic Beach, Gorillaz, fuck yeah. Vacation by Bomb the Music Industry. It's one of my like most favorite albums, and I feel like it's very hard to dislike. It's not complicated or require taste. I think it's very upbeat and has lots of depth instrumentally, but it's still easy to listen to. Plus, if they like it, I can introduce them to the rest of their discography and most likely get them into the local music scene. Shout out to that. I don't relate, but I want to say I've heard of this band. Sounds familiar. What's it called? Vacation. Okay. 43. Here, let's listen to the first song. Damn, this is 2011? I'm getting some like Jeff Rosenstock, the bit I've heard of him, vibes. Brave Little Abacus, like vibes. Operation Ivy sort of vibes, you feel me? But Oh, damn. I kind of like this. This is good, dude. What the fuck? Now, the thing with stuff like this, I could see if I'm introducing this to somebody who's never listened to the album, they being a bit thrown off by the vocals. But I think the energy is infectious, you feel me? When you listen to it, you can't help but feel good. You can't help but feel the similar energy in the song based off the, you know, the instrumentals as well as the vocals. I'm gonna say, yeah, I think this is a good album. It's not super long, and I just think it feels good, and that's, I think, the main takeaway that we want from albums that we are introducing to people who are not into this shit. So I'm gonna say approved for Vacation by Bomb the Music Industry, and I'm probably gonna check that out after this video. Scotty Gamer says, I would need to know more about the person, which is completely fair. This is a very kind of broad question. Depending on who it is, Abbey Road is probably the ultimate / ideal album in terms of what the format of the ultimate album would be like, even if it says in some ways go beyond its sound today. Okay Computer, Funeral by Arcade Fire, Arctic Monkeys, whatever, People Say I Am, Hounds of Love are all great first albums, but if I had to pick one, Abbey Road, unless they dislike the Beatles, then it'd be Arcade Monkeys or Kate Bush. If you have to count me as one answer only, then the Beatles. Well, I read your whole comment, so there you go. Yeah, I think Abbey Road's a pretty good pick. Showing like the album format, I will say obviously the second half is much more the kind of the album format I would want to show people, showing how like these songs can work together to form a very cohesive experience that you can't experience unless you listen to the album in full. I think the first half is a bit more all over the place. I like Abbey Road. I think it's a good pick. I would approve. Yeah, I think Abbey Road's a good pick. Funeral, maybe not, but I honestly don't really remember Funeral that much. It's been a while since I listened to it. Okay Computer, maybe. I think Fitter Happier they would be like, what the fuck am I listening to? So I'm gonna say no. Arctic Monkeys, I've only heard a few songs. Sounds of Love, I haven't listened to, but I've heard good things. So I'm gonna say overall, yes for Beatles, probably no for all the other ones. But you know, take my opinion with a grain of salt if you don't already, okay? Ultimate 3 Yandi and his Honda Civic 279. Sorry, I really wanted to say that whole name. He says he has 2 answers. If I want to completely blow their mind, I go with Kid A by Radiohead. Blending of rock and electronic music, along with its abstractness in both the lyrics and sound, is just insane. I do like Kid A. If I want to get someone into music, I would go with The Queen Is Dead by the Smiths. It's a nice sound, catchy melodies, some great songs, overall pretty accessible. I would say I'm surprised that people didn't pick the Smiths, but the Smiths has a stigma about them due to a certain individual known as Morrissey. But I think the Smiths overall, really any of their album, I'm being serious, even their 4th album, which is kind of doo-doo, you know, self-titled The Smiths, Mute Is Murder, and The Queen Is Dead, I think are all actually really good picks for a first album to show anybody. All of those albums are short. They're like less than an hour, like 30 minutes to an hour. They all the songs in those albums are just catchy. They're just catchy, but at the same time, the intro and outro serve their purpose as an intro and outro. The songs feel cohesive, and just overall, it shows somebody like you can listen to albums in full and still enjoy them, even, you know, if they're long or like even slightly longer, right? I think The Queen Is Dead is a good choice. I approve of that one. Kid A is a bit risky. I'm gonna say no to Kid A. First album, I think they'd be thrown off. I think Kid A, for a lot of people, it's a grower, you feel me? I think it takes them multiple listens to like kind of like or appreciate, I guess, at least. I would not go with Kid A, but I like Kid A, so I get where you're coming from, because there's specific songs on there that I think anybody would like motion picture soundtrack is just beautiful. It's just so beautiful, right? On immediate listening, you got Kind of Blue, Miles Davis, absolutely. Okay, I don't even need to pull that bitch up. Absolutely approve. I think that genre's cool jazz or whatever the fuck, it's just so easy to like how are you going to not like Kind of Blue? It's so mellow, relaxing, but at the same time there's always stuff happening, so it's never boring. It's not too long, but each of the parts feel cohesive, they feel distinct at the same time. It's just really a perfect album. Is it the most experimental or interesting jazz album? No, but it's definitely captivating and just calming. It's a great listen. I would 100% give somebody Kind of Blue as their first album. I think it's a great pick. Monsoon Inc. Tradition EP. Now, if this is who I'm thinking of, I'm going to say yes. Is it who I'm thinking of? Tradition. It is who I'm thinking of. I'll be real with you. Have I listened to this one? No. I've listened Out of My Mind. But mainly I've listened to Nothing in Return. God knows how many times I've listened to this song. Holy shit. Absolutely love Nothing in Return. It's very nostalgic for me. So, but yeah, Monsoon, I think you could give this to anybody and they'd like it. Now, I will say, it's kind of not what we're looking for. You feel me? Like, I want albums because for a lot of people, you know, going from just listening to songs or just not listening to music at all and going straight into an album, you know, you want to give them a good album to really show them the power of the album format. You're not really doing this with an EP. I'm gonna say approved though, just because, I mean, it's Monsoon. It's so hard not to like. It's just, it's a vibe, you feel me? Like, who the fuck is not gonna like that? So I'll say yes, but you're warping the question, I'll be real with you. If it isn't Prior BJ, otherwise known as Grouper. Prior BJ is actually really just Grouper. They are Grouper, but it's an alias, right? This is their alt account, and they just promote Grouper on their alt account in random music communities and Discord servers. Okay, they don't want you to know about that, but that's what Prior BJ really is. It's just hiding it. AIA. Alien Observer. Yes, Prior BJ. I honestly, I would approve that. There's something insanely calming and easy to relate to. You can obviously apply your own emotions onto the album very easily. And when I think of calm ambient, like somebody mentioned before, I think of this album, and I think this would be a perfect album to introduce somebody on. It's not too long for ambient either. It's only like 40 minutes, and I think it would just work very well as a introduction into how beautiful music can be. And I'd 100% agree. I approve of AIA, Alien Observer, okay? And Prior BJ's reign to make every person who has ever lived listen to Grouper. The new Glass Beach record. Okay, you didn't really answer the question. I'm gonna just assume. I have not listened to New Glass Beach record. I've heard mixed reviews. I know a lot of people like it, but then the suits, you feel me? The big dogs, Fantano, Brad Taste in Fantano is, they gave it like 6, I think. I haven't listened to it. Brad Taste is washed, and Fantano is also washed though, so just kidding. I sometimes watch their videos. I don't really though. But here, let's what's it called? Glass Beach. I will say I didn't like the first one that much. I know a lot of people did, but I wasn't a big fan. Okay, here, the CIA. Maybe I should give this a listen. I don't know. I haven't listened to a lot of it, and you also kind of like didn't answer the fucking question. I'm gonna say no, but I'll probably listen to this because it sounds a bit like the first Glass Beach album. Sounds a bit, the vocals are different. They don't stand out as much. There's less songs. Hopefully there's not as many fucking interludes. As I said in my review, this album does not deserve the amount of interludes it has, okay? You're actually asking for a whole lot. All right, that's all on YouTube. Let's check the Discord. Now with the Discord, the main reason I made this is because I put the community tab up. Next day I wake up, half of the comments are gone. Not because I deleted them, but because YouTube is stupid. And so they were just gone. And then I woke up the next day and they're all back. So some of these people might be repeats. And if that's so, I'm just going to skip over them. But some of them are also not. So, you know, let's go into the few here because I want to include everybody. You feel me? This video is probably going to be long. Changing Mind, to be honest, Blade and Echo 2K, Crest. The whole album is just a majestic fever dream. They're like floating in the air while dancing. Yeah, I would. I think Crest is a great choice. Despite, you know, it's Blade or whatever, it's so far gone from like early Blade. Like it really isn't the same. But every song in there is just feel good, right? It's as you say, you just listen to it from start to finish. There's not a song that just doesn't feel good. It feels ethereal and it just makes you just want to fucking dance, dude. I would 100% say, yeah, I think it's very easy to like. And I just think it carries that energy throughout the whole time. And I think somebody would love it. And it's not that long either. I think as a first album, it's a great choice. Since I Left You, because it's just everything in one album. Facts. Actually, I would approve Since I Left You. Since I Left You has a similar thing as some of the other picks on here, right? Because it has it's very broad in terms of what's on it, but at the same time, it always feels danceable. It always feels good to listen to, especially with that intro. And I think another huge plus is people would be able to see, if this was your first album, how songs can flow together effortlessly. Because almost every song on Since I Left You, from my memory, just like flows into the next. And it's just like one cohesive piece. I think it's a perfect example of like the power of the album format, as well as showing it can be interesting throughout like an hour runtime. So I think Since I Left You, approved. I think that's a good choice. Let's keep going. Somebody mentioned C14, Minecraft Volume Alpha. As I mentioned before, I think that's perfect. I think it's a very chill ambient album that anybody could really like. Why give them an easy album to listen to? Trial by Fire. Yeah, no, I would not play fucking clipping for I would not play clipping. I've listened to that album a really long time ago, and yeah, no, you get a no out of 10 from me, Chief. Okay, there we go. See, I'm telling you, Prior BJ, they're just Grouper in disguise. They're just trying to promote their album. Farron 1977. minimal folk record. Let's see this. Aaron. Damn, this shit obscure. It's the wrong one. I mean, I can't search it up. No comment on that. I'm sorry. I've been recording for like an hour and a half now. I'm sorry. Black Saint and the Sinner Lady. I think jazz would be a pretty accessible genre for someone who's never listened to full music. Plus, also somewhat complex. Yeah, I think that's true. I think jazz overall, as I mentioned with Miles Davis, it's just jazz effortlessly makes like 15-minute songs, and it makes sense. It just makes sense when you listen to it, and it can get very complex. You know, I've actually not listened, or I have listened to the Black Saint and the Sinner Lady, not seriously. It'd be like in the background, and it wasn't really paying attention like at all. It's hard to say. I'm gonna just, isn't it kind of experimental for jazz? Like, my favorite jazz album is Karma. I absolutely love Karma, but I don't think I would play Karma for somebody first time. Actually, maybe I would. 4 songs, 40 minutes. I mean, it is jazz. I have it liked, see, because I like, I don't know. I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say yeah, because I think jazz in general is just, it's just naturally cool, bro. Like, you can listen to it, nod your head to it, and just get in the groove of it so easily. I'll say approve. Just for fun, Spirit They're Gone, Spirit They're Vanished by Animal Collective. Particular sounds, most unique album ever. Okay, now here's the thing. I've never listened to this album. This is the extent of my Animal Collective knowledge is Merriweather Post Pavilion. I have listened to that album one time in full. I actually own a CD of it, but I genuinely don't remember anything, and I remember only liking the first 2 songs. And you're saying, why do you have a CD of it then? Because I bought it in Japan, and it was literally 80 cents, and I liked the 2 songs enough that I thought it was worth 80 cents. Now, I know this is, if I remember correctly, wasn't this like only the main guy in Animal Collective made this? Like, it wasn't the whole band yet? I've never listened to this album. I really want to. I think the album cover is very cool. Okay, I'm gonna just say based off that, no. I can see as a whole, it's very like, yeah, you said very different all over the place. Very interesting listen. Many aspects of music. Yeah, no. I'm gonna give it a no out of 10, Chief. I think you're gonna scare them off. I think you're gonna scare them off. Floating, accessible to pretty much everyone. Also stays consistent the entire way through. Hey, with the words you're saying, I'm liking what I'm hearing. Wait, is this the album I'm thinking of? Is it the one with that like little baby floating in space? It is. It is. Dude, I want to listen to this. I've been wanting to listen to this for a long time, but I never did. Here, let's give it some plays. Why don't you come over to my house? Damn. Please. Damn, bit. Back up from the mic. David Lynch? God, I fucking love ambient pop. I'm gonna say yeah. This is a very easy album to ease somebody into the format. It just sounds nice. It's similar to like Grouper for me. I would 100% yeah. Give it approved. And that's everybody. That's everybody, guys. We did it. We cleared the gauntlet. Out here, so that was all of your guys' suggestions on the prompt. What album would you play for somebody who's never listened to music before, or at least not a full album from start to finish? We got some good picks. We got some questionable picks. And we got some picks that you could argue are good or are not, depending on who you ask. Please keep the conversation going in the comments below. Say what you would do. Say what album you would pick for this scenario. And just tell me what you thought of the video or whatever. I don't care. Just type something in the comments, okay? Say something goofy. Who cares? But this is a new type of video for me. This is also going to be probably a bit less edited than I usually do. Just more of like a streamlined consciousness of thoughts. You know, we're kind of copying Brad Taste. I won't even lie. But we're not going to copy him that hard. I want to do more videos like this in between the reviews and stuff. So I think on the next one, suggestion from the Discord, I'll probably do the greatest songs of all time. I know we're just going deeper into copying Brad Taste, but man, fuck it, who cares? So probably expect a community question for that in, I don't know, like a week or 2 or 3. And that will be the next one. Tell me if you liked this video or if you didn't. Tell me what albums you'd like to see me review in the future. Make sure to join the Discord if you would like to. It's in the description. And thank you for watching and have a good day.